What a way to start the weekend off. We're already in the 70s. It's going to be even warmer tomorrow. We have Chief Meteorologist Steve Udelson. And in Gastonia, you have to take a look at this. This is where heavy rain and wind, it whipped around the trees there, almost blowing sideways at some points. It even brought hail in some spots. Look at this. People were dealing with these conditions for hours, and it caused a lot of damage.
Well, even though the weekend storms are long gone, thousands in Mecklenburg County still don't have power this morning. Neighbors are concerned after a half-dozen break-ins in East Charlotte, and they think that the same man is behind all of them.
Look at that again, but in slow motion here. You can see that driver just plowing there into those barriers right there, sending one flying back to the driver right behind them. And this is all happening at the Woodbridge Apartments on Yateswood Drive. And within the last 10 minutes, Charlotte fire officials just wrapped up a news conference. Eyewitness News reporter Tina Terry is live for us at this scene.
Hospital.
2 people taken to the hospital, but this is an apartment building that has about 16 units in there. So they're still trying to figure out how many people are impacted. But you could see there were flames really covering the top of that entire building there. Here's video again so you can see the smoke.
Independence, you can see them crossing the lanes there, and it looks like they've gotten to the median.
They're going across.
We do not see in our immediate view any law enforcement there. Mark, are you seeing any law enforcement there near where these people are crossing the road?
Speaking of starting them young, we have seen so many small but mighty protesters filling our streets during the protest. Deshaun Brown sat down with a 12-year-old activist and a 77-year-old man who was arrested for sitting at a whites-only lunch counter in 1961. They talked about the challenges that still exist decades later and the remedy to create true change.
Some local mothers working to get off of welfare say that a federal program that was supposed to help them become self-sufficient actually set them back.
For months now, Channel 9's Brittney Johnson has been investigating what's going on in a program from the Statesville Housing Authority. She found residents are not getting thousands of dollars they were counting on to help them build a better future.
Johnny Borders has big dreams. The single mom works full-time, is working on an education degree, and is also working to become a homeowner. To get there faster, she joined Statesville Housing Authority's Family Self-Sufficiency Program. It's a program funded by federal grants that helps families increase income and reduce their dependency on welfare. To graduate, participants must establish and meet goals, like no longer needing income assistance from welfare programs and maintaining a job. They have up to 5 years to achieve those goals. Borders signed up in 2014.
I'm a teacher at Head Start. My other goal was budgeting because I wasn't doing right. And I got that down and going to school. And I'm about to graduate next year.
Like many others, she was most excited about building a savings account. As participants' incomes rise, so does their rent. And the increased amount is deposited into an escrow account. When they graduate the FSS program, that extra money is theirs.
Feel happy because I knew at the end of that program I had that money.
This statement shows by summer of 2019, Borders' account had more than $12,000. But 2 months before her 5-year contract was set to end, she received this letter.
Therefore, October 2017, you successfully completed the FSS graduation program.
It says she should have graduated more than 2 years ago because that's when she'd reached 6 months of suitable full-time work. The change means she'll receive less than half of the money in her escrow account.
Hurt, betrayed, because I trusted these people with my money.
Several others contacted me after receiving the same notice that said they too should have graduated years ago. I questioned the Housing Authority. Executive Director Darbascaf sent this, saying they had updated their guidelines in September of 2018 after they reconstructed the FSS department, found discrepancies, and started a complete file review. 21% of participants had a decrease in escrow.
The director told me under those new guidelines, once participants reach full-time suitable employment for 6 months, they're considered successful graduates, even if they haven't completed any of their other goals. But we learned those participants never signed new contracts agreeing to the new rules. And the money they thought they'd be receiving, it's going back to the Housing Authority.
I have my certificate here where I actually did my Money Smart.
Shakobi Brandon says she's spent years attending FSS meetings and building her credit.
You told me to do X, Y, Z, and you guys will help establish me with my goals and assist me in anything that I needed. But now all of a sudden, you've done it wrong and you're taking escrow from us.
She hasn't been graduated out yet, but just received an email asking for the timeline of her current job. She worries she's next.
I have 2 more years left. I'm not ready. It's things that I want to accomplish within this program.
I talked to 3 other FSS program directors in the Carolinas. Each one said participants should have the full 5 years, and that if the Housing Authority makes mistakes, they should find a way to get participants their money. I also talked to the head of the FSS program out of Washington, D.C. She said that there is no HUD mandate that participants graduate after 6 months of full-time work, and that unless participants breach their contracts or agree to those changes, their 5-year contract should stand. Participants are hoping higher authorities will take a look at what's happening here.
We don't want to be stuck in public housing. I don't want to be stuck on Section 8. I want to move out and buy my own house.
Borders refused to accept the check that was less than half of the amount in her account. She and others signed this petition and are joining several former Housing Authority employees, vowing to keep fighting for their families.
I'm going to get what's owed to me.
In Statesville, Brittney Johnson, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
HUD says it is changing how it monitors family self-sufficiency programs around the country, saying it's working closely with the Housing Authority regarding these matters, and they have every expectation that they'll respond in a timely and appropriate manner. Meanwhile, the Statesville Housing Authority says it's made every effort to be transparent and that concerned residents should file a grievance. An attorney for the agency emailed that they are handling these on a case-by-case basis with legal aid. Now, legal aid itself confirmed to us they are working with 3 residents, and you can read the full statements from HUD and SHA in Brittney's report on the WSOC News app.
A story still developing at this hour. Deputies say these 2 people duct taped a 12-year-old to a chair, beat him, and then left him like that overnight.
And this woman, this is the victim's grandmother, the man, the victim's own brother. It's a crime that just takes your breath away. The Iredell County Sheriff told reporter Dave Faraday that he moved quickly to make an arrest. Dave, we want you to stop and take a moment and look at this picture. This is a Charlotte mother, an aspiring nurse. And tonight, her loving family is in mourning. They are forced to remember her life because a shooting ended her life as she drove to school.
Innocent. And she had a life ahead of her.
These are the 3 men police say are responsible for killing Kendall Crank. Just about 24 hours ago, she was driving on North Tryon when dozens of shots were fired. She was caught in the crossfire and died. Today, reporter Mark Becker spoke with Crank's family and is now live from the scene where a memorial has been growing all day. Mark? Mark, thank you so much. That just breaks your heart. I want to bring in reporter Deshaun Brown because, Deshaun, you were out there at that emotional scene for us yesterday, and you just got an update on the investigation. So you could feel the pain from the family. I know I look at her photo and I think that could be me, that could be my sister, that could be my friend. That shouldn't happen to anyone.
It's heartbreaking, and it also makes you angry, and so many questions that our community's trying to come to grips with. Outstanding reporting by Mark and Deshaun.
Police surrounded this white SUV in West Charlotte, guns drawn, before pouncing on a suspect. Chopper 9 flew above the scene on Behringer Drive this afternoon. You can see there as that suspect backed up toward police with his hands raised. Officers then yanked him down. They took him into custody before searching the SUV. Now we're asking how this all started and what that suspect is charged with. There could be more answers as soon as tonight in the death of a South Carolina 5th grader who collapsed after a school fight. Renia Wright died Wednesday, 2 days after the fight at Forest Hills Elementary School in Walterboro. An autopsy was scheduled for this morning to determine how the little girl died. The other student involved has been suspended but not charged.
A safety system that was incorrectly activated likely played a role in 2 deadly crashes involving that Boeing 737 MAX 8 jet.
Sources tell ABC News preliminary information from the black boxes indicates the flight control feature automatically activated before the plane nosedived into the ground. Just days ago, pilots tested that system in a simulator. Some said they were shocked at how aggressive it was. All Boeing 737 MAX jets are grounded worldwide as the investigations into the two deadly crashes continue.
With Brittney Johnson, every day our viewers have the opportunity to wake up to her energy.
All right, this is a story you've got to see.
Brittney really has an edge because she grew up here. She's a graduate of West Charlotte High School. She knows our school system. She knows the history of things that have happened in the area. And I think that people see her energy and enthusiasm and dedication. But off the air, she has that same passion for giving back to this area where she grew up.
Join Brittney weekdays from 4:30 to 7 a.m.